Broken down and defeated, determined, busy and confused, sleeping. You're dying while I wait you to get started on the journey chosen, wasted, now it's selected. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. Silver, sad and jaded. They're not coming, they're broken down and defeated. You are dying while I wait you to get started. You are dying while I wait you to get started. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky, yeah. Crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile.
I'm a motherfucking unicorn, a one of one. The vibe being the love and light, the enlightened one. My karma isn't just stellar, I live by truth. Fighting evil, my scars are living proof. Protecting you from the storms with all my might. Love me, I will treat you right. You ever cross me, it's the last thing you'll ever do. With my crown of thorns, I'll wreck you. I ain't playing, yo, Bryan hard, call me a saint. Too bad Chris, because Bigfoot knows my name. I'm a messenger of God, with loyalty I serve, taking out all evil with his holy word. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand, slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand, slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Third Eye Live. I am Bryan Bowden, one of your hosts, and we got LL Cool Mark as another host. How are you, sir? We're in that gangster
I'm just
album, yo.
channeling BMR's look.
Trying to. We got John Straw Dog that just popped in. It's always great to see you, Straw Dog. And I'm saying thank you and welcome and hi. And we got Energy Shifter and Jen from Paranormal Newfoundland Podcast and Boots, Paranormal Newfoundland Boots on the Ground team and Diane Boss. Thank you very much, Diane, for being here. I know you're balancing stuff out, and we got Bino from Oz, and we have people just jumping in. But it's good to be back Wednesday. We have your your boss is our guest tonight.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that's what I was going to say on the intro. It's like my boss for this show wanted me to introduce the boss for my main show.
Mark and I share things equally here. He brings people.
Yeah,
What's up, Beth? Welcome. LL Cool Mark. See, they like it already. They
yeah.
like
I
it.
just
I'm just
okay.
gonna say it.
I just got pimped out for this show. It's but our guest is Barbara DeLong.
Yes. I've been
Uh,
I've been trying to, meet her. I mean, he's been on the list, and Mark's like, Barbara would make a great guest. But I'm like,
well,
I know, but
you're a guest on her nightlight.
yes, with you and Ron Murphy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
And,
appreciate that.
yeah.
I'm always very appreciative. YouTube is all bugging out. Trust me, it's just getting crazier and crazier. I mean, just so you know,
Yeah,
Mark, there's a
here's
lot of lead in. Oh, here we go.
there's the drawing I did
That is a drawing.
for your appearance. There's Ron with the sphere that were floating in front of him, and you flying the McLovin thing, chasing a leprechaun. But that was the artwork for that
That
show.
was the artwork, but
Yeah,
I
you might want to
appreciate
make that
all
a
your art.
T-shirt as well.
I think maybe we'll make it the front and the back. We can do that. We make the front and the back shirt. But
You might
Mark,
want,
you forgot to put the at symbol instead of the A. Like last time, like it was that's a great logo. You should the artist formerly known as Mark.
yeah. Yeah, did forget to do that, but maybe get some more tattoos of
You should.
these drawings. Um, but
Are you gonna actually get that as a tattoo? So
no, no,
no,
I
because
don't do tats
you
or
don't do tats. But
or
seriously,
piercing.
that would have been so much cooler.
It's okay.
Hey, we got teachers in the house. We have
Oh,
an apple for the teacher. Michelle's
see,
here.
Barbara's been on the
Barbara
show
has
on
been
Wednesday.
on Michigan UFO
Hmm.
encounter sightings, more action and verbs, and oh, Nathan's popped in too. Oh my god! Oh god, we're better to just start this up before we start.
Okay, yeah. Let me get back to the boss's
Yes, let's
intro.
we bring her in, and then you can do the intro, or do you want to just do the
Oh,
intro?
I just you can bring her in. It's like this
Yes,
is I'm like halfway through, um, the 30 seconds I had to
I'm gonna
put
put
this
her there, and
together.
I'm gonna make Barbara the focus of
Yeah.
everyone's attention.
Okay. There she is. Hi, Barbara. Okay.
Hi, Barbara.
So, so uh, okay. I think I said her name before we got sidetracked, and um,
Barbara DeLong.
yeah, and we're in our eighth year of doing shows on Nightlight. She brought me on board after, well, rescued me after multiple firings, and you can learn more about her and what she has on her extensive webpage by going to barbaradelong.com.
Yes,
And Barbara's the co-author of Before Roswell, and this is something we'll be covering
Yes.
this evening, and Secrets of the Stones. And got to maybe get into some giants.
Well,
There's all kinds of other things. We'll be discussing, um, you know, mystical musings and what is their purpose. We have all kinds of stuff we'll be talking about over the next couple hours.
that is fantastic. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you, Barbara.
Oh, it's a
Um,
pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. I do not know how you put up with Mark being so, hyper all the time and excited. Um, I was just going to relay a message to Mark that maybe the reason why when he's working out, the protein powder has a lot of lead in it, and that's maybe the reason why it's not really working. That just came out today. Um,
Yeah, I'm
so
trying to
I
get the
was
lead out.
Yeah, you were trying to get the lead out. I noticed, I mean, like, I read everybody's, like, "Give me a small bio," and I read everybody's bio, and I love the way you, like, let me introduce myself. And that is in the show description. All your links are in the show description, robertlong.com, your YouTube, and your books. So I want everybody to go there, and subscribe to Barbara's YouTube. Go to her website, have her, read you and buy some books from her and make her some money because she's got to deal with Mark too. Um,
Yeah,
but
his paycheck is pretty big.
yeah, well,
It's
that's
tripled
why they
from
call
last
him.
year.
Well, they used to call him G Money, but now, ever since he's been the rehab, he's just yeah. I just get this vibe of Will Ferrell trying to get hard in the movie when he was going to go to prison, and that's Mark right there. But
Yeah,
can I ask you a question? Because this was something that, like, bing, what is a spiritual empath? Because it says that you're
yeah.
besides a show host and a podcaster, you're a spiritual empath. I don't, I've never heard that before.
Actually, that's a unique title. My late husband, Patrick Cook, I object horribly to the label psychic or medium
Right.
or or whatever. And I said there has to be another title I can use that keeps me in the spiritual realm, but doesn't put me in a small category that I can never reach out of.
Right.
And he came up with spiritual empath because, there's, I mean, two master's degrees and ordained minister and documentarian, and it's enough to choke a horse. So
Yeah,
just
seriously.
it is. It's
It is.
ridiculous.
It's a lot, you
And
know.
and so I just said, I don't want to um spend most of my time listing all of the things that I've done, because to be honest, I never did any of them for it to be a bio. It just happened to be what I fell into and what I got going with.
Yeah. I noticed that, like, when I started doing interviews, that someone said, like, what's your bio? Like, I never really did a biography. I guess in school everybody does. I think they still have kids do, like, do your, I don't know, something for your death obituary or something like that, which is kind of like freaky.
Well,
Uh,
there are some people that have great now. Gary Wayne calls himself a Christian contrarian, which is a great way of describing yourself.
right.
Somebody else once called themselves an eternal student. Another great way to go. It's sort of like you, you know, when I started listing this stuff, and people who have read my whole bio, I'm embarrassed by it because it takes up a lot of time.
Oh, you haven't read my bio then. It's, you know what it is. I mean, for me, a biography, just if I'm getting what your real bio is like, you're like me. It's chronologically. This is where we started,
Yeah.
and this is what, and this, and this, and this, and and I used to get one of my friends that I investigated with. He goes, "Oh, you added another paragraph." I'm like, yeah, I did.
Well,
I'm doing
it's
things.
funny.
What am I supposed to tell you? You know,
I've been doing podcasts for 18 years now, and beginning to feel old. But
all in the mind. Don't let that, you know, don't let that go anyplace else. Just
no,
add the two numbers together and constantly. So you're 57, right? So it's 5 and
no,
7.
no,
So
no.
that's
I,
no,
actually,
no. Just hear me out. I'm not going to
okay.
ask you your age. So 5 and 7 is 12, and 2 plus 1 is 3. You're 3 years old. You will never be older than 9.
No, no. I'm proud of my age. I'm 81.
You don't
And,
look anywhere near that.
well, I am, and
That's good.
it's
That's
kind
great.
of like I've worked for most of that in the spiritual field, and so it's sort of like I have wisdom that I've lived, which is really exciting. I'm very proud of it. So that when somebody asks me a question, whether it's spiritual or psychic or whatever, I bring to the table a lot of experience and
Yeah,
wisdom and stuff like that. So I'm proud of it. When I
yeah.
hit 100, I may stop.
So, she's 9, my favorite number. There we go. She's
Okay.
9, my favorite number. If you I mean, I used to because no one knows how to do math anymore. So people are like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "I'm 630 months." They always say my baby's 24 months. I'm like, "I'm 634."
Okay.
Or I'm this or that. I just age is just a number. It means
True.
nothing unless you wanna vote, or if you're growing up, you wanna drink legally or something like that, and other than that, and make sure you don't get arrested, with a young lady that shouldn't be in your vehicle, and shouldn't even be on your radar. But
Yes.
other than that, that's all it is. So, before you got into podcasting, what were you doing? Were you on that spiritual path? Were you a psychic? Or and just working as a medium? Well, you said you don't like that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
always say, like, I'm not a psychic medium, I'm like a psychic 2XL because I'm just a big
okay.
guy. So
Um, well, I taught special education for 25 years.
oh, you definitely have to be yeah.
And so during that time I became involved in spiritual development, and I was in a spiritual development class in a spiritualist church. And at one point the and part of the class every week was we would sit in silence and darkness and give messages to one another, and I always got bored. And so after the third or fourth week, I started to make stuff up, you know. Oh, I see this happen. Oh yeah, thank you. That's wonderful. Well, after I guess the first 6 months of the class and stuff, the minister thought everybody's doing so well. We're going to do an evening in church, and
Right.
everybody will have a part of the service. So he was giving everybody assignments as to what part of the service they were going to do. And I was the new kid in the block.
Right.
I was fresh. And so everybody got something except me. And as I was leaving, I thought, I can watch everybody sweat. And he said, "Oh, Barbara." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "You're going to do the platform mediumship." And I backed up and I said to him, "To be perfectly honest, I'm faking." And he said, "No, you're not." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm faking. For sure I'm faking." And he said, "No, you're a natural, and you're the first natural I've ever met, and it's a pleasure to watch you work." And I said, "I'm a school teacher and I'm a fraud as far as this goes." And he said, "Well, listen, don't sweat it. I'm sure you'll do fine." And I finally said, "I'm going to embarrass you." And he said, "Can't happen." And I said, "Oh, I will." And he said, "I tell you what, get some friends and have them sit around and give your friends messages if you're really worried." And I said, "Gotcha." And I had
Right.
5 friends that I hung out with, and I told them what I was going to do. I gave them each $20, and I said, "Come and let me give you a message, and then we'll go and have dinner." And they all said, "Sure." So I sat through everybody else really squirming like crazy, doing their parts, and silently making fun of them, realizing that they would be silently making fun of me when I got up there. And when it was time for the platform mediumship, which is the very ending of the service, I got up there and I stood and I looked around. Not one of my friends was there.
Ooh.
They all went drinking ahead of me. And so I thought, well, it's only 300 people. I'm sure I've made myself a fool in front of bigger groups at some point in time. And so I said, the light is coming to you. And I gave 10 or 15 messages, and everybody was very receptive and nodded their heads and said yes. And yes, I recognize that spirit, or yes, that's happening to me, or how did you know? And, it was lovely. And the minister finally cleared his throat and I sat down. And afterwards, I looked at him and said, I hope you're satisfied. And he said, you're a natural. He said, you were dead on. And I said, now you're really jerking me around. And after the service, people would come up and ask me, do I do readings and things like that? And I said, no, I'm just in here. I'm just here for spiritual development. It took him 7 years to convince me that what comes naturally to me as far as mediumship or psychic stuff or spiritual stuff, I'm a natural channel. And so it just flows. And that was my beginning. And many years later, when both of the ministers of the spiritual church had passed away, I had in that time frame become ordained. And
Right.
I was the first one to stand at that pulpit as the minister after they had passed away.
That's nice.
And I served in the pulpit there for 5 years, a rotating minister, until they found somebody permanent.
I've noticed that the true people with gifts and abilities don't want to really let the world know. Because it's hard, especially if you don't have somebody in your life that had the gift and ability to work with you on the process. So I was told about it, and I am a remote viewer, by the way, but our psychic in Arkansas is like, with the Arkansas attitude, no, you're psychic like me. I'm like, no, I'm a remote viewer. He goes, you can call yourself whatever the hell you want. And so for the longest while, I would call myself a remote viewer, but things started. I had certain abilities growing up. I'd know what, like, how's, so and so doing. Heard he wasn't feeling well, and like, what are you talking about? And then you'd find out like Uncle Tom or John is, not well, and they're like, how do you know that? You got to make things up, or you get these. I want to say visions, but it's a look into the future. It's a look into certain things, and you're like, okay, maybe I have an active imagination because I'm very creative and whatever. No, you just it's so it took me a while to own up to it. It took me a longer while to do readings, and I do readings. And I didn't even know what, someone got me to do a reading for somebody, and my readings are quick. I don't need to sit there. If you tell me what the boom, I get it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't need an hour. I'm like, I'm getting you the information. Now there's certain people pulling it out because of who they are. They kind of put up those. Have you ever met somebody that kind of blocks what you're doing, but really wants an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hate those people because they make it so much more difficult. Like, you're wasting my time here. Just open up and let me, give me the permission, let me go. And I'll tell you, I don't play, I don't, do you, pardon the expression, I don't blow smoke or tell people what they want to hear.
When I get people like that who are there for a psychic reading
Yeah.
and they're blocking me, I just go one level above and go to a spiritual reading that absolutely radiates from them all the time.
Oh, so you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't put labels on what we do or what I do. Like, I have these Claires. I'm like, I don't know who the hell Claire is. Keep her. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not dating Claire. But I think I understand what you're saying, that I've had people block me. I know they're trying to block me, and I've gone, so maybe I'm doing what you're doing, and you just go to a higher level.
Well, if I'm really having trouble, I just say to somebody, for some reason, Spirit doesn't want me to deal with your trivial things. It wants me to give you what Spirit wants you to know. And then I go that direction.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And then that opens them up a little bit more, I guess.
No, at that point, they sit there with their mouths hanging open and saying, Spirit doesn't want me to, or what I'm asking is trivial. And, and then the walls just come down.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But you mentioned remote viewing. A number of years ago, I did a series of remote viewing exercises, and I had, I think, close to 100 people, 50 to 100 people all around the world. And we got together online, and I led them in a meditation into different places. And those meditations and the experiences the people gave are up on my website, and we're putting them up again. There were 12 in all. We went into tombs. We went into the first emperor. We went into pyramids on the moon, pyramids down in Antarctica, the Japanese ones underwater.
Right.
And so I've got another 12 locations we're going to be going into as a remote viewer, and I lead the meditation into it as a group. And as a group, they can go deeper. And when they do that, oh yeah, hi website.
I'm putting you up. I want robertdelong.com.
A lot of stuff there.
You have a tremendous amount of great stuff on this. It's not just, about the radio. I mean, in all seriousness, everybody, please go to this website. I'm going to put it into the chat room so it makes it easier for you. You have to go through all the little nooks and crannies. Barbara provides you an amazing amount of wonderful things there. I don't want to ruin it, but it's like, you're going to get excited. What you're going to, I promise you, you're going to come across something like, oh my God, I've been looking for something like this.
Secrets of the Stones has been heavily viewed by your mainstream archaeologists.
Nice.
That was exciting. When Patrick and I got together, he was on the West Coast, I was on the East Coast, and he had matrixradio.com. He wrote the Bible UFO Connection, and we got together, and he sent me a
second. I just wanted to. There's Barbara's website in the chat. I'm going to put the YouTube in chat. I'm going to put all this.
Okay. Well, he sent me this YouTube, and it was on some of the stone chambers that were in the New England area. And he said, do you know anything about them? And I said, I live in the middle of them. What do you mean? And when he came out and we got together, we decided that the stone chambers and stone walls in the New England area and kind of expand that were very spiritual, mystical things that were being ignored and not paying attention to. So we created a documentary called Secrets of the Stones, and that's on YouTube as well. It's also on my website. And we presented it at the 2011 convention of, now I'm drawing a blank. It'll come to me at a convention. It was Megalithomania.
Yeah, I was going to say Megalithomania.
And we presented it at that conference. And since then, it's had well over a million views, because a great number of people put it up on their sites. And what's fun is, if I'm talking to an author, and I mentioned that I'm into the stone chambers and stone walls, I've often had people say to me, there's a couple in New England that did a great video documentary on them. You ought to check it out. And I said, do you mean Secrets of the Stones? And they say, yeah, that's it. It's fabulous. You should listen to it. I said,
hi, I'm Barbara.
I wrote it and I narrated it. Yeah, I know it.
I believe I've seen bits and pieces of it. Born and raised in New York. I've been up to a lot of the stone chambers that pockmark from New York State all the way up, even to Dennis Stone's place. And
Well,
I'm
on
friendly
my
with
web,
Linda Zimmerman, but Linda Zimmerman's book, I'm not a fan of. She's like, "Oh, it's just a cold cellar." I'm like, "Did you go there with a Geiger counter? Did you go there with a magnetometer? Did you go there and check out alignments? You think this is a cold cellar? You're out of your mind."
the cool part about them is that they really have been ignored, and it's really such a shame because not only are they, you know, they're most of them have a north south,
Yep.
solstice and equinox,
Windows
locations.
or yeah.
But the fact that have never been any artifacts dug up around them. In the entrance of many of them, there are magnetic anomalies, never checked out. I have been
Around
in.
them are magnetic anomalies.
If you go to the website, there is a place on it where there are a number of maps, and I have located on the maps where all the chambers are that we saw, and the GPSs are there, so you can go visit the chambers if you want to.
It's really interesting. So we went up. Um, we're on 301 in New York State as a route. It goes. There's a Tibetan temple that's there, and you can go visit it. And just bring that into perspective. There's
Yeah,
a Tibetan temple built near these stone chambers. There's a reason why they built the temple there. Whitley Strieber's house had stone chambers on it.
yeah.
In a different end of New York State, but yeah. So we
They-
went into a stone chamber on 301.
yeah, they're right next to the
And
road, some of them.
oh, this one literally you would never find it if you didn't. You have to pull over and you got to do some walking, and then you have to go in a little bit of the gulch that's there, the gully, and you walk in. This was during the summer, and this, I mean, you have to kind of like tip your head down to get in. I'm 6'1", so getting in there was a little bit weird. But once you get in, it's a immediate different type of temperature gauge. So it was 98 degrees outside. Inside there was very comfortable. Probably about 70 or something like that, if I'm correct. What's interesting is inside the walls are about, I would say, close to 8 feet tall, and then it's 10 feet long, and then the back wall is probably about 8. So it's 10 by 8. There's a huge stone in the back of one of these walls, and you can go right up to it. You can look at, you can touch it, you can feel it. If you look at or use UV or black light, 4 ruins are written on there, and it's earth, fire, water, and I think air. And I'm blown. You can't see this with the naked eye. You have to use a different type of lighting or light wave to see it.
Oh, okay.
And what we did was I was
No,
showing
I've
Barbara. I was just telling you I was showing Barbara that I use an app called Bowls, and we were doing some. We, as a paranormal investigator, my kids yell at me, "Why do you keep taking 3 pictures?" I'm like, you got to take more than 1 picture at a time, right? So we're in there, and my buddy wanted to go out and get his thermometer from the car, and I'm ramping up that whole area using the Tibetan singing bowl, and I believe it was the heart chakra. And we have FLIR going, and what looks like a portal starts to open up.
Yeah.
And he comes back, and I'm like, dude, I think I just opened a portal. He goes, and he's looking at it. It's like purple haze starts coming in. And out of nowhere, you get a peek in and a peek out real quick. And like, oh my God, something just peeked in. The only time I've ever seen the same thing take place was in an episode of Skinwalker Ranch when they called in a rabbi to do a portal prayer.
Yeah, I saw that.
The same FLIR, everything, the purple and everything, it circles around. It was the weirdest thing. I've never seen that any other way than that. So I'm fascinated that I have to go back and watch the movie again.
Well, the portal, the chambers are cool in that I've been in about 80 of them.
Oh my God. Yeah, well,
And they feel inside like like the same feeling you get inside a crop circle. And it's
did you get
almost,
that with all of them?
huh?
Or like, did you get that with all of them or a majority of them? Like that feeling?
Almost all of them. What's so great about them is most of them are made out of granite. Granite has a great deal of crystal in it. Crystal is used in radios, so and for communication. And they're all corbelled construction so that there is no cement, nothing to hold them together, except, of course, they're on top of each other.
They're waterproof.
And they're waterproof.
Yes.
So that after even all these years, they still don't leak water.
No, they don't. They're really, really well constructed. Now,
And when you stop to think about it, along with the stone walls, the early colonists first of all, they didn't know how to do corbelled construction. That goes back to the Phoenicians. And so in order for them to have built the walls that are in the New York area, I can't remember exactly. So, it's been a while since I've watched Secrets of the Stones, but as I
Right.
recall, there was an 1831 architectural mapping thing done by the government, and they found there was enough, the length of the walls was enough to go from the earth to the moon and back. They were that many and that long.
That's incredible. I'm putting a link in just so you know to it's on the Bronxville Paranormal Society. You can go check out. I forgot which FLIR it is, but the video is there. I uploaded when I was doing that. But it's really interesting. You said Phoenician. Did you ever go to Ninda Mountain
Yeah.
in Carmel? Yeah, yeah.
I lived in New York most of my life.
Okay, so you know the area.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've had UFO experience there, Bigfoot experience there. And then we have that when you get to the mountain, you go up and you park your car. There is a stone chamber that they rebuilt and it's filled with graffiti. But if you walk up a little ways, there's another stone chamber.
Mhm.
And we walked in there, we were doing an investigation. And we're asking, the EVP questions, is anybody here? Are you from blah, 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 and nothing. And then we started getting, are you Egyptian? No. Are you, Atlantean? No. We just started laying out all the minute we said, are you Phoenician? We get boom, 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 a beating, like a heartbeat. None of us we don't have anything running on this. And you get like what sounds like drums, boom, 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 but it sounds like a heartbeat drum.
Mhm.
And it's incredible. The last time I was up there was the summer before last. We were doing an investigation. No, it was actually it was before last summer. I had to go up to New York for a little bit and we went inside. We were doing a day-night investigation at that specific stone chamber. And when we were in there, as we're going, we went during the day, and at night we went just by ourselves. And my buddy's trying to do something with a pendulum, and I'm like, I don't do the pendulum thing because even though you don't think you're moving, you're moving. It's and whatever.
Yeah.
So he's oh, I'm gonna put it on the tripod. I'm like, okay, you do that. and I hear something massive moving through the woods at the 10 o'clock to the 12 o'clock. And I said, "Sorry, Al, I'm on Bigfoot watch now." And this thing walked over, and he was literally, if I'm staring at this chamber with him in it, it was at my 9 o'clock position. And I'm filming with a Psionic camera. And it was, if you have ever had a Bigfoot encounter, you'll know what it is. It was Bigfoot. And he or she was like, "What are you guys doing here? It's past your bedtime. You shouldn't be here." But another time we were there during COVID, just so you know, and I'll try to find the photo. I took the family for a walk up there. So my youngest is a ham, and I said, "Hey, actually, give me some poses." So she poses. She's always done that. I take more than one photo, and then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "What is that on her finger?" And we literally caught, literally, a fay landed on her finger. So I'll show you that. But I'm just so happy to talk to someone that has the experience and the information that is correct, that it's not a cold storage unit.
Oh gosh, no. And the thing, Patrick wouldn't guess. He was more of a realist. But I said, with all the quartz, they could be a storehouse of knowledge and wisdom, or they could be a transportation chamber or the opening for a portal of some sort. Because of the quartz in it, I keep going back to transition, to portals, to communication, if nothing else.
Well, I'm with you on the portal aspect of it, and I think this is what I'm thinking. This is where sound frequency, vibration, resonance is the key for everything in this crazy world we live in. It is like the thread that binds the ghost hunting with the cryptids, with all the ancient mysteries. And I think um, what 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 I did there to create a portal, they did there, but they used their voices or other materials,
Mhm.
and I think they were transportation hubs. So I could be up in Nina Mountain and say, "You know what? I gotta go back up to the ceremony up in where American Stonehenge is." And I think you can step into that and, like, kinda hop your way up to that area. I also think Stonehenge is a portal. It's a giant transportation hub and a healing hub. And I was
So it's the
mentioning
Great
this.
Pyramid.
That too. Well, that's also an energy source
Yeah.
because of the two different
Well,
um
on the
ports.
website, there are pictures of stone chambers all over New England.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how many, but there are almost 100 pictures of from Pennsylvania to Ohio to California. So, and they're all documented and they're all GPSed as best we could do it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, when you were GPSing it, that was a pretty expensive proposition. I mean, you know, it's not like today where you could just go get an app and go, Mark, Mark. Not you, Mark, the other Mark. I just think it's fascinating. I don't know if you still live in the New York area or around there. Smart.
I'm in Tennessee.
You know what? I went to a conference in Missouri, and I went through Tennessee, and there was something about going over the mountains, getting out of the evil state of Georgia, and I went into Chattanooga, which is, I've heard about it. My entire life. Now I'm there, and it's beautiful, and I just fell in love with the entire state of Tennessee. I thought it's just a
Well,
wonderful place.
what they've got here that they didn't make a big deal of, and I'm still looking around. They found many graves of little people here, and
Or were
they
you
dug them up, and
talking
they were
Bay?
sent to the museum. But little people 3 feet high, armies of
Oh,
them.
oh,
It
There
was
were battlefields here.
a race of them.
a race of little people.
Yeah.
You said 3 feet high. Were they
They
normal
were not
size?
children. They were adult little people.
Adult little people. Adult little people. Okay, so they're not what we classify as, I don't want to use the M word.
They're not dwarfs and they're not midgets. They're little people.
They're little people. That's interesting. That is great. Mark, how come you're not writing books about this?
Huh?
I'm
Just
giving
give me
Mark
some
problem right
time.
now. How come he's not writing books about it? Mark, how come
No,
you're not writing books about this?
the only person I know that's made any sort of comment on them is Mary Joyce, from her website, Skyships Over Cashiers. She talks of the little people all the time.
Is Nathan from the Quantum Show wants to know if is there an article? I
On the
think
little
that's in
people?
relation to the little people.
Yeah, Mary Joyce has even written a book on them. I think it's called The Little People Were Real.
Cherokee little people were real.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. The Cherokee little people. Because I know
No,
about the well, I studied North American Indian peoples, and there may be some relation somewhere down there with the family, but I knew that there's certain tribes or peoples there were mention of little people, and
are you familiar with the Dropa people, the Dropa stones?
no, I'm not familiar with the Dropa stones.
Dropa stones were discovered by a Chinese archaeologist in 1938, I believe, and they discovered in a cave. He was an archaeologist looking for a place to take his students, and he found a cave with these circular stones that almost looked like records, and there were hundreds of them. And they gathered them all up, and they found that in the grooves there were hieroglyphs, and there were pictographs, I guess is a better way to put it. But they were eventually they figured out what they meant, and it was the story of small people who were in a spacecraft that crashed on the Earth. The spacecraft was destroyed, and that they were going to just have to survive there and live out their lives and integrate into whatever was there. Now, it's a great story and it sounds fantastic, even more so when you realize that there is still a tribe there in that area called the Dropa, who are 3 feet high.
Very interesting.
And you get the Homo floriensis. That was a race of yeah, they were in the South Pacific.
Yeah. But these people are still there. There's still a tribe called the Dropa, and they're all 3 feet high.
Did they ever do any type of genetic testing on them and see what the?
I don't know.
No, you don't know. Because there's tons of there's tons of different legends that come down. I'm doing a book with Ron Murphy, and we're talking about giants and Nephilim, and a lot of stuff is a lot of native or indigenous people folklore is mouth to ear, not written. And for certain reasons they will never write them because they're not supposed to I don't know, sigil this stuff because it may have a negative connotation to the individuals they're talking
Well,
about.
it changes the history that we've been taught. It means that our books have to be rewritten.
Well,
and God forbid they do that.
I'm with you on that, and I've been saying that for the longest time, the last couple of months. More than that, I've been saying it privately. I don't trust the science. Our historic record is BS. You have a better shot guessing. That's what these people do. They get paid by the government to dictate a narrative to you about we'll get into climate change. We have something called Earth cycles. They happen every 26,000 to 27,000 years. And the planet goes and changes axes. And what was cold is now hot, and what's hot is now cold. It's not because you're driving to the store or flying someplace.
Or cows farting.
Or cows farting. Yes, we need to save the cows because Bryan needs more steak. And I don't do the veal because I want him to grow big enough so we can get a coat and some boots out of him. But so this is the narrative, and this is what they're, all these scientists that go to universities, it's all government.
Yeah.
And it's universities and their science departments would not exist if the government didn't exist, because there'd be nobody to pay for all this crap and no one to manipulate it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get myself in trouble and well, it was fun while it lasted, Mark. Now you're on a new show. I stake too, Mark. Yeah, but I'm just fascinated. I'm in awe. We have to, we're gonna keep Barbie here forever. Well, I don't want to keep you forever, but
Long time.
do you get we're gonna get into the Roswell. Is that the latest, Mark?
Book?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Before Roswell, or
I didn't have anything to do with writing it. It's
well, you
is
seem to
Barbara.
see Mark's totally gangster right now. Look at this. Yo, I didn't have anything to do with writing it. He puts on a knit cap, and the
name's-
next thing you know, he's
My
busting
name's
out.
not on the cover. It's Ken
I
and
know it's
Barbara.
not. You're on the. Oh God, I don't know how you deal with them, Barbara.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
some
So
of the time I just don't listen, and other times I do.
okay. So yeah. This is a fascinating research book. It's more than a bathroom book.
It's a good bathroom book too.
It's more than a bathroom book. Great way to sell a product.
But what? Okay, tell the audience a little bit about how the book came about.
The material in the book was originally on my husband's website, Matrix Radio, and Patrick had pulled together material on UFOs and giants over the years. And when Patrick died, I had to take his website down because I couldn't afford to do two websites. So, we, I put what on his website was not in any of the three books he wrote, and the two pieces that I put were the material he had gathered on UFOs and the material he had gathered on giants. They're on my website now. Ken was writing a book on UFOs, sorry, and he ran across my website, and he saw I had all of this material on UFOs that went from the beginning of time to about 2000. And he called me and asked me if he could use the material. And I said, sure, go ahead. And so then he called me back and he said, well, you want to write it with me? And I said, well, it's really basically all written, but sure. So he took, and it was mostly newspaper articles and things like that on UFOs, all stuff that could be documented and could be found. So he put it in different sections, and after each section, he and I would write a little something. And then Ken wrote, one of us wrote the summation and one of us wrote the conclusion. I can't remember which way it went. And he published it. And it's fascinating. It's we did it before Roswell, because before Roswell, UFOs and the experiences people had with them were common knowledge, were something people just talked about. It was no big deal. I saw one of those things in the sky and I finished milking the cows. It was no big deal. After Roswell, it became scary and frightening and, monsters and things like that. So we took the purity of from 47 back to, I think, I forget, 25,000 years with pictographs in French caves, I think.
Yeah,
All the way
it's even before Göbekli Tepe.
So you took everything pre that crash in Roswell and you went all the way back globally.
Two
To the
hundred and seventy
beginning.
thousand with
To-
Sumerian king list starts here with god kings reigning in the sky.
yeah.
Wow.
See there, I do that all the time on Nightlight, and Barbara says no one can read it. So, but that's where it's coming from.
But we did get the page, so we're good.
So it's and the newspaper articles are fascinating, and it is a good bathroom book. You can open it anywhere and find something interesting. Good piece of trivia. Do you know who shot down the very first UFO?
Do I know who shut down the first very? No, I'm getting an older vibe versus something more modern.
It was the Red Baron, the German pilot
The
who
German
was
pilot. So he shot down.
he shot down the very first UFO. It crashed. The pilot got out and ran into the woods, and they never found him. But he was the first that has authenticatedly shot down the first UFO.
So do you know where that was? Was that over Germany?
Belgium
Germany,
It was
Belgium.
Belgium. Okay.
in 1917. So there, I'm an annoying Barbara again.
No, that's very interesting actually, because if you take into consideration Operation Paperclip, when von Braun came here, and he is the reason why we have NASA, and we got to where we were.
Yeah,
And we've got someone that's vouching for the red. It's almost like an Uber review. Great pilot, 5 stars. Only joking, Barbara.
but
It's
you
just
know,
funny.
he kind of
Von Braun was mentioned. He was being interviewed by someone, and they were like, "You're this close." And let me tell you, they were really close to having nuclear weapons.
yeah.
Game over. And they asked, "Where'd you get this technology from? This help?" And he went, "We had it from them." So possibly could the Red Baron shooting down this UFO have led to the introduction of the Nazis to by saving that other pilot's life to whatever else came to pick him up?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm just, that would
Not
be an
from
interesting connection right there.
not from 1917. Hitler also had the psychics that were tuning into other entities and giving them information as well. I
Right.
think the other thing we put in the book that was a little well, it was Operation. Oh God, what was it that Admiral Berg took?
Oh,
Admiral
I don't remember the name of
Operation
it.
High jump.
High Jump,
Was it High
and
Jump?
they went down to the South Pole to try to take down whatever was there, and they got taken down, and they came back real fast, and he was told never to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of individuals that have gone down there and have come back, said we shouldn't be here. And there's some strange stuff. One of which was the Apollo guy, um, Buzz, and
Alter.
yeah, and he had the heart attack, and they got in and out of that place pretty quick. So that was supposedly from an interaction he had with something that is not of this world.
One of the remote viewings that we did was going into the chambers that were in the Arctic and going through the tunnels in the chambers that were there as a remote viewer.
Yeah, I've actually looked into a lot of what was there because I don't know if you remember. Do you remember as someone who precedes me doing book reports and having to do research reports and going to a library to get an encyclopedia and look things up? Do you remember seeing I distinctly remember seeing this. Um but before 1957 when there was that peace treaty, the Antarctic Treaty, there were images in Britannica, because we had it. My dad worked for the company. My brother was, when you looked up dog, there was our dog there. When you looked up baby, there's my older brother. Not a pretty kid. Um, whatever. And but I remember as a kid going through it, and I remember seeing Antarctica, and there were images of what looked like, Rome or Greece with snow all over it. It was and pyramids. It was weird. And then now you can't find it any place.
Well, Mary Joyce has found the remainings of a town. She did. She does a lot of research with Google Earth, and she found a lot of obviously towns or villages that were no longer being used, and as soon as she posted them, if you grabbed the GPS she gave you, they had already been blurred, so that there definitely were towns and cities and all sorts
Oh
of
yeah.
stuff in there.
And it's, something's up when we're fighting all over the planet, except for we all agree on Antarctica.
So far,
There's a problem there. They know something we don't, you know. Maybe there's a really cool Starbucks, and I don't even like Starbucks. We're gonna put a Starbucks in Antarctica. Mark, you want to be a barista? Yeah.
Sure. Sign me up.
Yeah. Double mocha latte, whatever.
But I'm. That would just be a pay cut from what I get paid with Nightlight and all the royalties that are rolling in.
Well, we're not making money yet, Mark, but like I said before, when we do, you're going to make money too. So,
I've heard that from elsewhere.
Well, no, I'm not. I kid you not. If we can get, we got to get over that 1,000 mark. Mark, that doesn't sound right. And and then we have viewing hours. Believe it or not, we have a lot of viewing hours. I think we meet that requirement. We just don't have the subscription. And if everybody in chat wants to share it with 5 of their friends and tell them, hey, just subscribe. You don't have to do anything. Just subscribe. Most people don't pay attention to their notifications now anyhow. So what does it matter if you get notified? Right? I mean, it's just the way it is. It's, but then again, when you get monetized, you can't talk about a lot of this stuff. I know too many people that got monetized, then they lost it because they start broaching subjects that people don't want you to know about. They don't want you to.
That would be us.
Yeah. That's gonna. I mean, I already know.
We had to wait the 6 months and reapply.
Well, when they don't want you talking about certain things, and it really gets frustrating that you have to play that game. That's why I just alluded to it in chat. We're gonna try also maybe not streaming so much anymore to Facebook because they're just being Nazis. But we're gonna go to their sister. We may try to stream to Instagram, and we may start streaming to Rumble. So I will put up links and whatever. Just go subscribe to whatever they are, please. This way, it can pop up and we can start moving things a little bit more because the censorship is off the chart. What do you think, given all this research? Let me time out. Let me go back for a second. Was your husband like involved in all this as well? And then you said, I mean, did you like, oh, well, he believes that aliens are real. I'll date him.
No. Matter of fact, I saw a UFO before I ever met Patrick.
Okay.
Actually, one landed on my campus. And when it took off, it went right over my dorm and I saw it. And what I say often is if it had a VIN number, I could have read it. So, no, Patrick Patrick was into the UFO and the Bible. Again, he was a biblical theologian.
Oh, so
So
that's where it's getting it from.
his
All of that.
books and have been out there. They were the first. He was the big guy, the one that everybody was. Several people wanted to burn him in effigy. Other people thought he was fabulous, and it got to the point where Giorgio and all of the other guys were borrowing his material because it was so well investigated. So he was one of the first.
Well, that's actually really great to have somebody that is, you know, at the forefront of this whole entire craziness. It's unfortunate that the people that are borrowing from him, aren't offering tribute.
Well,
Get the wallet out, folks.
somebody went to the Wayback Machine, copied his entire website, and reposted it as theirs. And when I went on and I saw that even down to the graphics and everything, it was Patrick's website. I sent a note to the author and I said, I really appreciate this. I know you honor Patrick greatly, but you do understand that you're putting up copyright material. And if you don't take it down, I'll sue your pants off.
Yeah.
It came down.
Yeah. I mean, you have to, I guess you have to be on point with this stuff now because people, there's way too many people that will steal your everything given the opportunity.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, everything that was in his website are in his 3 books. So if they want his material, they can buy the 3 books and get the material.
I mean, it would have been better to say, "Hi, I went and I found this. I'd love to interview you about your husband. And can I whatever?" And then maybe worked with you to, I'll let you do some research,
Co-
but it's my
Coast
stuff.
Coast to Coast did that with her last year.
Oh
That's
yeah,
great.
he did a great deal of work with George Norrie originally when Coast to Coast got going, and they were friends. They had a weekly series they did together, and it was amazing. And after Patrick died, number of years later, he had me on because of my material, and then I was on again with him for other material as well. So, but he and Patrick were very close.
Did you guys ever argue with each other? Like, how can you say they're Venetians? They're clearly Pleiadians, or something that like you both were steadfast in, like, you're in this camp and he's in. And
Actually, the one argument that we had that um, has yet to be resolved. I believe in reincarnation. He
I
did
do.
not, and so we agreed that whoever died first would come back and tell the other one, you know, what it was. So
Okay.
after Patrick died, I didn't hear anything, which tells me that I was right because he wasn't going to tell me.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. The same thing. There's no way in hell he's going to come back and say, "No, I'm not telling her that it's." Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's like, "Nope, nope."
not
And
going to
you're
do
going
it.
to get up there and go, "You son of a." Barbara, you got to go through the two, the campus first.
Actually, after he
Tell
died,
'em.
I stripped our bed and I washed everything. And when I went to put everything back on it, I found a penny in the middle of the mattress, which
That's
is,
that's usually a sign.
yeah.
Pennies
And
and
I looked at
feathers.
it and I thought, you couldn't do a silver dollar. It had to be a penny. But
That's You couldn't give me a golden liberty. You had to just give me an Abe Lincoln. See
yeah,
that I was told by our psychic, and it's really weird. I never asked our psychic. She's my Yoda. So she's the one I went to. Say, I want to explore this. I don't want a Pandora's box. And she's like, yeah, whatever. She knew it was a Pandora's box. So,
yeah.
you don't want a Pandora's box. Unsubscribe to everything paranormal and go watch some crazy show like whatever, Jersey Shore, because it's all a big Pandora's box. So when my dad died, I didn't tell her. She's calling me up and she's like, your dad's here. He's talking to me. And I'm like, I'm thinking, like, she's telling me all these things. He apologized, all this stuff. He's going to hang out. He's going to do this, and she was like, I don't understand. Why is he coming to me? And I said, without missing a beat, I said, well, you're freaking damn hot, and you totally. He's going to go to the hot girl, the woman, and he knows you have my ear, so like it kills two birds with one stone. And she started laughing because my dad would have done that. It would have been like, do I want to go to? No, I'm not going to go to. Wow, she's beautiful. I'm going to talk to you for a while and come to your house. But she told me recently that he's my guardian, one of my guardian angels. And I just protest. I'm like, no. And what was really funny is I'm like, nah, I'm good. Can we get somebody better than him, some other relative in, because and I literally can see my dad like cracking up in his head. And I kind of felt and heard him say, no, I'm better now. I'm good. And I'm like, you better be. Because you really weren't great when you were there. So, but none of these people up there ever do anything to break the rules when they can. Well, some people do. I've noticed. And I tell them, like, Dad, what's the problem? Just give me the lottery numbers. So you stay on level 6 for a while. And they won't do it.
No.
Because there's consequences. I believe in reincarnation as well. And I also believe there's different levels to heaven and whatever you want to call hell is. And the purer you are, the higher you go. So like a baby coming into this life that dies, yes, it's very heartbreaking, but they've fulfilled all they needed to fill in their karma, and they don't have, and they go to the top. It's people like us that live longer. We're paying penance for a longer, oh, they live such a long life.
But it's fun.
It's not bad.
No, it's fun.
I mean, yeah. There's some good days, there's some bad days, there's some lonely days, there's some not so lonely days.
And podcasting's not a living hell.
Yeah.
It's a step above that.
We're doing some strange, Mark is a comic. He's a heck of a writer. He is a comic genius, believe it or not. And we're gonna do some fun things. We have a question for you, Barb. We're gonna bring it up, but it's like, yeah, it's life, and it could be good and it could be bad. So this is from, you're probably gonna get asked to be on our podcast. This is Jen from Paranormal Newfoundland. She was? Okay.
Yeah. The show right now is prep for Jen's show next month.
There you go. Mark got to it. Mark is a pimp. Look at that. You feel we're meat. That's all we are, Barbara. We're just pieces of meat to them. Barbara, what will you reincarnate as? Animal, new person?
I think if I have a choice, and I'm not sure you do, but if you do, I would prefer to try another dimension in another world.
That was interesting, and I've never heard that before from anybody. That could be really bad, though.
I don't think so. I believe that we're here to learn. And it's not that I've learned everything this time, but it seems to me that to enrich the wisdom I've already got, a different perspective would be appropriate. So give me a different dimension, give me a different reality, and let me expand on what I've got.
Well, Energy Shifter said she stole my answer. Well, of course you're going to be shifting into a different form, Energy Shifter. But that's actually very interesting because normally, it's like anybody that does a past life reading, they were always dukes and earls and queens and whatever, and no one was the piss boy. No one was the girl cleaning the bedpans. Everybody is royalty.
Well,
someone's got to clean the slop up. So when you go do your whatever, it's nice to hear something different. Like, I want to go to a different dimension. Would you like to be a light being or whatever that being is in that dimension?
I think that we all are light beings, and it's just a matter of what we're refining when we're here on the earth plane this lifetime. I don't believe that we're here to be punished. I think we're here to grow and to learn and to understand that laughter is so important. I meet so many people who are so serious about what they're doing. They're just not understanding that laughter lightens the spirit and allows it to even glow better. So if you have the laughter, then you're making a difference. Then you're helping people to change.
This is why I've been called for the longest time. I guess it could be a self-defense mechanism for, being a big person in a world where there are pretty people like Mark, the gangbanger, Eddy, uh,
I
rolling
can
with the
also be
homies, Mark.
eye candy.
You are eye candy, but it's like, so I was called a human clown, and I do joke around a lot. Matter of fact, I already have what I want done at my funeral. I want a casket painted with the numbers 86, like NASCAR, on it. He 86th. I want to hire mourners, some who are just gonna come in Hawaiian shirts and pass around a beach ball. Others are gonna be crying and saying how wonderful I was in bed, making it up. And then at the end of it, everybody's gonna get a T-shirt that says, "I went to Bryan's funeral and all I got was a fucking T-shirt." Literally all that. And then I've already set up. I want the headstone with the LCD on it and a speaker and a pressure plate where the grave is. So when you come over to put a stone or lay flowers, the TV comes on and goes, "Oh, look who decided to finally show up." Something like that, or like a fart sound or whatever. So this is how I want to be remembered, because there's nothing like laughter.
Oh gosh,
And
yeah.
I mean,
And
one of the
and
yeah,
and I decided that I was going to do my own eulogy and videotape it
that's smart. See?
and start out with well, if you're here and I'm here, I must have croaked.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I loved in the description. I literally took exactly what you took, and I'm like, okay, she gets it. She knows what's going on. It's fun. Um, that is so great, though. Like, yeah, it's very Monty Python. You should always throw in one of those. And I was thinking about it. Um, Tell my son in California that I've always loved him, even though his mother would let me see him. Just throw something out. Like, wait a minute, there's someone in California. No, there isn't. No, there is not. I just throw something like that.
Don't you think in some cases throughout history people have done that? Like the Aztec treasure supposedly in Utah or wherever.
Yeah,
Or, I buried, did you find the money I left in my wallet? And
yeah,
I was doing platform mediumship with a group of people quite a while ago. And there were these two ladies that were sitting in the circle. And I said, there's a man standing between you, and he is so angry. And he's cursing like crazy. And a few of the words I don't understand, but I'm not going to ask. And they started to laugh and they said, "That's Dad. He died." And
yeah.
I said, "What's this about you didn't bury him in the right suit?" And one of the sisters said, "Well, it was his good suit. We weren't going to bury him in that. We buried him in an old suit with the vest and everything."
That
And
is great.
and I said, "Are you sure? Has he actually been buried?" And they said, "Yeah, he's actually been buried." And I said, "Well, he wants you to know that sewn into the seam of the vest was the key to the safety deposit box." So if you want to get into the safety deposit box, you're going to have to exhume his body.
My God.
And they did. And it was there.
Yeah. That's, this is the problem. That was so cheap of them. Like, let's
Yeah.
get sued. What are we going to waste it? Meanwhile, there's like $10 million like stuck in a safety deposit, whatever it is. But
No, the safety deposit box was empty.
oh, okay.
He just was jerking them around.
I wouldn't do
But
that.
the key was there.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, like I have 2 daughters and they hate me to be no. No, they love me. My youngest is the one that's gonna actually smother me because my oldest like, I can't do it. I'm like, just put the pillow over. Good job, honey. Whatever. But it's yeah, that's really weird. That's great though. People getting bitter in after death. Like, you guys are idiots. I should never have left you anything.
Well, my theory on inheritance is that you didn't earn the money, you don't deserve it.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think another thing is not only do people need to learn how to laugh more, people need to understand and know how to be more humble, grateful, appreciative. And something I've learned this a while ago, but one of my brothers he's the Grand Master of the state of New York, of New Jersey, and when his father passed away, um, that was a tough thing. But he put me on as a pallbearer, and honored to do it. But something that he always knew about, and I've said it too. I've actually acted it, not said it. You give without memory, you receive with memory. So if you're going to give somebody something, don't put a memory on that. Just give it freely.
Yeah.
But that person receiving it should remember that you did that. And they should, remember that so you get it back at the right time. Yeah, Andrew over here we were talking about funerals, and the Irish guy's funeral, I don't know if you've seen it. Barbara, they were lowering the casket and they played like I'm in here. It's dark. And he's going lowered in. Yeah, I want some of that stuff too. I think it's who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Don't remember me, not being there. Just remember the fun.
Well, I know when my mother hit 70, she got very depressed. And I said, what are you depressed about? And she said, well, if you die before 70, everybody's, oh, it's so sad. She had so much life to give. She had so much more life to live. What a sad thing. And she said, then after 70, she had a good run. And my mother didn't die till 85. So,
it's a good run.
she had a good run.
Yeah, I mean, if you get, get that long, it's good. I don't, with all the costs being what they are, do you really want to stay on that longer?
Yes.
Do you really want? I mean, like, I've been like, you know what? Another person said to me who, he's a hybrid. And yeah, he's a hybrid. And when I say a hybrid, he's a hybrid. And we've been through this whole thing, and people are like, how'd you vet him? And I'm like, I did. And you can't go into certain things, but he's a hybrid. And he said to me a bunch of years ago, goes, you better get comfortable with the idea of death. And to be honest, I have kids, and they're at a younger age. One's in college, one's not. So I want to be there,
Yeah.
I want to be just as annoying as they are, and I want them to have kids so I can be just as annoying to their kid, like totally like, oh my God, little Billy's a mess. What? Your problem. Click. Just give them back. But it's I don't
Yeah.
want to be the guy that's, mumbling in the corner, with his pants up to his, chest. And like, oh, that's great grandpa, blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, this is gonna suck.
I don't
Mumbling,
think you have to worry.
somebody kill me. I don't think I have to worry either.
No.
That's a little bit weird when a psychic says that to you. I don't think you have to worry. I just went to the doctor's office, so hopefully, knock on wood. And with the Joker that you do shows with over there, and how that's you, Mark. You don't have to turn around.
Oh,
When I said, "Hey, how's it going?" and he said, "What happened to him?" I'm like, "Oh, I thought he was joking," and he's like, "No, man, I had two of them," and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God." Yeah. So it's but
Yeah,
this
I
is
got it. I got a note from him. He said the reason I didn't make the show the other night was I had a heart attack
yeah,
and my mother died.
yeah,
And I thought, two good reasons. You didn't have to do both,
yeah.
I I didn't have much choice in the matter.
No, I know.
Both issues.
No, I mean you don't. I had it on my bingo card, the heart attack. I had it for 10 more years. Whatever. But with Mark, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like, yeah, well, I had two heart attacks. I'm like, ha ha ha. He goes, no, man, I had two. But I'm like, oh my God. But you're alive. You're good, right? That's what it is. If you
Yeah.
do it
Yep.
the right way, you get the help immediately. You're you're gonna live a long time. Am I showing Mark's doing intelligent gangster character now? Yes, he is. He is the fashizzle. Mark is the fashizzle. But I don't know. I still don't know how you deal with him. He's so talkative. He interrupts constantly.
You have no idea. Mark, I think one of my main complaints about him when we started working together was that, especially if we were doing a show, he didn't know how to say goodbye. He would lead up to it and then say something else. And I'm typing often, say goodnight, Gracie. Time. Are you
Yeah.
checking the time? Look at the time, Mark. Good night, Mark. Night, Mark. I was sending him all sorts of messages that if you're ending the show, end the show. But don't, those long goodbyes are, just unbelievable. And I guess he saw it when he saw it say goodnight, Gracie. He knew he was, I was about to pull the plug.
Sometimes it's like you just gotta go. I mean, depends on how long your show is. We try to do. I don't want to go past 2 hours because the attention span of most people doesn't last more than 2 hours. But we try to make it entertaining and fun at the same breath. So wait until you see what we got going on for Thanksgiving, folks, and Christmas.
I have an idea for the drumming show.
Oh, you do? Please, I'm having a buddy of mine, Glenn Schloss, on, and Glenn does this thing called four vibration, and he does this drumming thing out in public, Nyack, New York, and there are people there. There's some tiki torches. It's kind of like a drumming circle, but everybody's so happy, and everybody's bring tambourines and banging on their own drums. He brings extra drums, so we're gonna have a four vibration show. And this is what I wanted to do with the show anyhow, is like, when I described it, it's not just paranormal and that stuff. I want to know, what guided people, like what put you in the direction you're in now. And of course, you lying about readings to people got you started. But it's like, were you called to this? Because there's a religious component to a lot of it too. And did you have a sign and you just had a premonition, or something happened, or like you said, someone comes back to you from the past and tells you something, and that changes your whole direction. It did for George Washington at one point.
Yeah.
Who was he visited by? He was visited by a ghost or a specter, but who was it? Was it a time traveler? Was it a specter? Was it somebody of a divine? So this is what the show is like. But I also I want people to be happy. I want people to, you know, I want people to walk away going, wow, that was really interesting and fun. And the guest was great. And I laughed and I'm like, I'm not worrying about my problems right now. I'm going to go to bed, walk my dog, you know, tell my kid, shut it off, and then, whatever it is. And that's what, with Mark and we do this all the time. I mean, I know he probably pulls it with you all the time too. And he's just like, Mark, not now. Does he ever get out of control? Like,
I don't think so.
At one time when Mark was putting together, I can think of 2 times that Mark was, I wouldn't say out of control, I think shocked. We had a
Shock might
couple
be
on.
a better word.
Yeah, shocked. We had this couple on who were talking about how they had, they did their stuff and everything, and they had a museum. And at one point, the woman suddenly started talking about how her father had abused her. She had a nervous breakdown on the show.
Really? Well, that's lovely.
And I'm sitting, thinking, say something, Mark. Do something, Mark. Shut her up, Mark. She went on for, I don't know, another
30 minutes.
30 minutes. I cut that part of the show out. But it was, I could tell Mark was sitting there not believing what he was hearing, and it was awfully graphic. He stole her money from when she sold her Girl Scout cookies. Her father took the money from her, and I mean, it was on and on and on. It was awful. It was awful. And Mark was so shocked he didn't know what to say. And the other time that he was a little bit at odds, he had these 2 lovely ladies come up to him and tell him that they were psychics and they wanted to do his show. And they told him
$20 an hour, Mark.
Yeah, they were recommended by a friend.
And
they got a little.
I said to Mark, I'm a psychic. If I wanted to have reading shows on Nightlight Radio, I would do it. But are you sure they're any good? And he said, oh, they're wonderful. They're great. They have credentials up the wazoo. And I said, but you've never done
to be a native show too.
Yeah. And I said, you've never done a reading show. Do you know how to do a reading show? Do you know how to do, I said, I'll screen people. I'll be happy to screen people and take calls and feed them the people that are calling in. And I said, I don't get a good feeling, but it's your show. Go for it. So he did. Nobody called in. One of their friends called in. And after they giggled together, it was silent. And Mark's sitting there sweating.
I'm banned from doing those shows.
Yeah, I thought, well, how long do I let him sweat?
And talking about Moo, that was a pretty rough show.
Oh yeah, I finally talked to the girls till the end of the show, but we have a guest form we send out, and people fill it out, and on it we ask them, give us 5 questions, 10 questions you want to be asked, and Mark had this guy on. And he'd read the book, and
both books that he sent.
Both books.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he didn't believe anything in the books, and he wanted to talk about something else. But Mark wanted to talk about the books. And every time Mark brought up something about the books, the guy said, I don't believe in them anymore. And Mark kept trying to get him to talk about the book, and it was the most uncomfortable thing show I think I've ever sat through with him.
I
'Cause-
I well, not with Mark yet, but I was co-hosting with another person, and it's not Mark. There was another person there, and we're doing it, and trying to get people on to coordinate whatever. And thank God we were doing audio because that would have been atrocious if it was video. But you can hear my co-host snoring in the background.
oh,
And I'm like texting, I'm like, dude, mute your mic, mute your mic. And he was working, to his defense, he's working multiple jobs. So he's snoring away. And the guest happened to be the psychic, and she's like a sister to me of our group. And she was livid. I'll never do that, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, I get it. I understand. But he did that several times. I mean, there's nothing like that if you sent me that sheet to be on your show, I want you to just ask questions. I can I don't need cues or anything like that. That's why, like with readings, don't tell me anything. You have to tell me your question. I love those people like, so what? Well, I'm like, what's your question? What do you want to know? I mean, I have to have well, aren't you psychic? I'm like, yeah, I'm not an idiot either. I don't know your question. Like,
when when I started to do reading shows, we were on Blog Talk, so you could screen the callers, you could get their names and sort of figure out what they wanted. And my friend Jeannie did the screening, so all I had to do was, say, "Hi, Sally. This is Barbara. How can I help?" And we used to get a lot of people, and sometimes people had to wait an hour or longer. And I can remember one show, I, opened the line and said, "Hi, this is Barbara. How can I help?" And the lady was snoring.
oh,
And I tried to wake her up. I couldn't. I said, "Well, we'll come back." And during the entire show, we would go back and she was still snoring. It was just, and then we had one lady that said, "What show is this?" And I said, "How many shows are you waiting in line on?" And she said, "3." And I said, "That's too many." And I hung up on her. And, it's kind of like that, go to the other two. I mean, please.
yeah, boy, some people are lonely. I didn't, I wanted at one point, because this is why we were talking before. I like the audience, and I love, Bigfoot Michigan Rob. He now changed his show to Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Beyond. But there's a lot of people that host in chat, and they're all great people, and there are a lot of great guests in chat too.
Barbara's been on some of their shows.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do it because I can take live calls. The best way to do it is, if we connect on a PM level, private messenger. I rather just go and hit you on private messenger. Okay, we're calling you today, Laura. Here, boom. And because there are people that generally would like to, they need the help. They need some clarity. And it's really amazing when you're panicking, you think the world's closing in on you, and someone comes in at a different perspective, and you're like, oh my God, it is, a breathing point. And if I can provide that for people, I would love to do that. But I can't just like say, your time and your energy is what, the guest is. I can't say, hey, can you do some readings? Maybe, maybe do a 3-card spread. But we should do a prediction show, and we should have Barbara come back to give us a prediction for 2026.
Well, that would be fun, but I don't let people ask questions. I give them a spiritual reading, and I do
that's great.
I do what I call a let it rip reading, in that I give them the next 12 months what the energies are going to be doing for them, and the information that's coming out, and it gives them information on relationship and job and everything else. But I really don't want to hear, when am I going to meet my soulmate or whatever. But I will give I will give what spirit gives me on those subjects for the person, as opposed to being directed on something that is probably so irrelevant to their entire life. That's ridiculous. So,
Yeah,
Right.
I work differently, but I have no problem with, but I just won't let them ask a question.
So
doing a remote viewing show would be something that um, you two uh, have similar interests on.
well,
Discuss if it's
I'd be more than happy to do it with
di-
you.
different techniques.
I will tell you what I do to kind of give a little bit of a demo for people. And it works out really, really well. Actually, Michelle that was in here and Wayne. Um, I I literally pick. I used to go get magazines and I'll just pick images from the magazine and I put them there and I put them down and or I'll take a picture of them, put them in an envelope, and say this is the first target. And I try to get them to do a very quick meditation, which we're going to get to that because Shelley Montgomery who said I want to know how people mediate. I thought it was meditate. I thought, sorry, Shelley, but we try to get them to close their eyes. We give them, tell them to have a piece of paper, have a pen, and whatever comes to you, it doesn't matter how crazy it is, yellow, pink, steel, but just write it down. Don't. This is the problem with people that are trying remote viewing. They overthink things. So what's very interesting is on on the show that I did with Wayne and Michelle, I happen to have a Bavarian castle, and it's a beautiful shot. And there's a waterfall there. And when Michelle was going through, I got women. I got someone like almost being thrown over something. I got a water and what have you. Well, that castle the next day, like literally in the morning, because they're school teachers, they go here, take a look at this. They found a serial killer, and he was throwing bodies over the railing of that castle that I picked out,
Wow.
and Michelle was picking up on it. So her little spidey senses were a lot stronger and in tuned. But women usually are because you have hemi syncing. We were talking about something in the beginning about the vibration show, padiddle, whatever the word was to left left right right
Oh,
um
paradiddle.
paradiddle to hemisync get your brain aligned. So women have that naturally. Men don't have it naturally unless they're like scientific, quantitative, mathematical, or artistic. That's when you start using both of them, and then that's why some of these people are good. But
Does
I
my
love doing
artwork
shows like
count?
that. Say again.
Does my artwork count as me having paradiddle?
100%. Your artwork is beautiful, especially the hungry critters. I'm surprised you didn't do something for this show, but I just think it's a way for people to get the audience themselves to get involved in our conversation. Right? This is very personal. Well, it's public, but it's personal. I can ask you whatever I want. Mark can ask whatever I want. Mark can get naked, which he usually does. But no,
We've
but
had that happen.
yeah. Really? You had a guest do it?
Uh,
Male or female?
Male.
ma-
Oh, okay. I
Male.
don't want to see that. Thank you. No,
Neither did
just
I.
well, yeah. Um, I only can get in touch with my feelings if I take my clothes. Please don't take your clothes off. But what I loved about it is everybody can take part in it. So no one knows what it is. Now the problem is because I'm aware of the images, they may be keying in on me more so than the actual image. But what was interesting is we would do like 4 or 5 of them because no one wants dead air. Like, okay, so I have to go walk you through a slight meditation. Okay, breathe in your nose, breathe out, whatever comes to your mind, whatever it is. But what was interesting, people were failing technically. They were saying like, I'm seeing X or Y or Z or an angle and this and that. But in the end, I picked a couple of, in the end, they were actually describing the last image and they didn't even realize it in the first image. So somehow they were keying in on one of those of the 5 and things led to that. They kept keying in on it multiple. So they were really focused on that one, unaware psychologically that what was going on. But then there was an image I used of my summer camp, and someone said, "Oh, I just feel like there's this little court and like a basketball hoop, but it's really low." And in the image, you wouldn't have known, but to the left of that image, unless you went there, there is a little mini basketball court. So they are keying into the location
Mhm.
around that image.
Well,
So
if anybody's interested in the free reading shows that I do, I'm doing one tomorrow night at 8:00 Central, and they're free readings on YouTube.
yes. And let's go back to your YouTube channel. We're gonna put that up. It's gonna be a free reading night with Barbara DeLong.
Yep, you just
Uh,
have to be in the comments section. People can put their name and their question in the comments section. That's my website. That's not the YouTube channel, though.
Oh,
What time does
It's
the reading start?
it's 8:00 Central, so 9:00
so
Eastern
is it gonna? But this is from your YouTube page.
on my YouTube page. Yeah.
Yeah, this is your YouTube. So they would go
See,
there. It
Oh,
would be
that
the
is my
live link,
YouTube. You're right.
right?
and there's your and Ron's
Oh,
show on fairies.
yes, I designed that book.
Well, yeah, they
Yes,
just have to go to the live section there, and the
yep.
show will be live on YouTube at 8:00 Central. And all they'll have to do is if they do have a question, they
Click in
can
it.
put it in the comment section on the side.
Yep. I usually tell people, please put them in caps. And if anybody does have a
Exactly.
question for Barbara, she's not going to read you tonight, but you can go to her show tomorrow and you can get a free reading. There you go. I don't really want to know what's going to happen unless I'm getting the lottery numbers.
Sorry.
I
If I
know.
could do that, I would already have done it.
Well, I always, whenever I test psychics and I test tarot card readers. There's a lot of shysters born and raised in New York City,
Yeah.
and I must give off some kind of damn energy because a lot of people think I'm a cop. When I walk into places, I get 5-0. They walk. I wasn't doing anything. Their hands go up, but I'm like, okay, I'm just getting a bar of soap. I don't care what you're doing. Um, but I test people all the time, and do you come across people who are psychics that you've tested, or they don't want to read you because there's something about you they're like, nope, I'm not going to bother. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to put you on the spot. And then that's another thing. Um, I've gone to play. I was just talking to somebody. I've gone to, like you usually get down. I moved from New York to Florida. So we get these fairs that come around and like, there's a hot air balloon festival. There's like one hot air balloon. It's not
Oh,
really a festival, but it's beautiful. But there are always these vendors. So you can get like a really inexpensive card reading. And it's always nice to have somebody you can bring on the show and say, hey, can you just do a reading? We'll pick
yeah.
somebody. Read for Mark. Mark could use all the help he can get. Read for Mark. Or something like that, or explain how you do it. Because I've had friends that can do it with deck of cards versus tarot cards. I have a huge assortment of tarot cards. I love the look of them. And I sit there, my arm goes down. I don't reveal anything. And you've got to tell me something. There's no way in hell you should know before I will be like, okay. And one woman in Jersey, we went to the Jersey Shore. Her name was Shar. She was really good. And we had a great conversation for about an hour afterwards. Some woman's like, I'm waiting here. It's been more than 20 minutes. And Shar was like, I'll be with you when I'm ready. We just started going back. She mentioned my grandfather's name. She pulled him. And I was like, okay. I mean, like, and it's not one of those normal names. And so that you can get the certain feel to it. But I've had people that look at me and they're like, I ain't reading you. Nope. And I'm like, oh, why? Because I'm gonna find out you're a fraud. And I just walk away. And
Well, I don't know if Mark told you, but I did design a deck of cards myself.
no,
And
That's on our homepage.
okay.
it's called the Cosmic Deck of Initiation.
I was
And
going to say that.
they're
Cosmic Deck of Initiation.
let's see.
It's on the bottom row.
Okay, so let's go to it. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, yeah. This is one of the things I saw. I'm gonna click on it so we can visit if that's all right with you.
Sure.
And yeah, I saw this. I loved forgive me, my my machine is probably gonna be bugging out, but
Explain your artwork.
They're hand painted mandalas. And it's
I'm
not a
waiting for it to
tarot
pop
deck,
up.
it's an oracle deck. And it's meant for people to use for their own spiritual development. So I renamed the chakra system because I couldn't pronounce the Indian names. And there are cosmic laws and universal energies and the astrological signs and some wild cards. And it was initially published in 1991. And they stopped publishing it 20 years later. And Ken helped me to republish it again 3 years ago. And when we did, he said, "Where's the handbook?" And I said, "I never wrote it." And he said, "You have to write it." And the
Yeah, you
handbook,
have to. Yeah. Look
the
at that
handbook
deck.
the handbook is now written, and that's about 300 pages long. So it's a lot more intricate than initially. And now there actually is an app for your phone where you can do a spread if you want to. The cards are all there and they're beautiful. And I read the definition of each card into the app. So you'll hear me telling you what the card means.
That is awesome. And it's only $36.99. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's a custom deck, so I mean, it's beautiful.
Oh, the cards are gorgeous.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, you know, you got to give tarot cards or these divination cards credit. Some of them are just out of this world incredible.
Actually, if you'd like, I can send you a free app for your phone.
Sure. I don't have the cards, but that
They're
doesn't mean
in
I'm
the
not
app.
gonna go buy
You
them
don't
again.
need the deck. The app has the cards in the app.
Yeah, but I like to help support our guests. I don't want to.
No, I'll send you the app.
I appreciate it, and I thank you. But I'll probably also see. Do you do conferences at all, Barbara?
No,
No.
I did a long time ago.
All right.
I
Then I'm gonna
I
have to.
paid my dues.
No, I know that. Yeah, the reason why is I always like this. There's a lot of people. I always love getting autographed copies of stuff.
Bar-
That's
Barbara's
all.
moved. Barbara's moved up to podcasting now.
Oh, she's moved up to podcasting. Barbara's in the witness protection program right now. Um, yeah, no, I don't blame you. I like, I just did a conference. It was great. And there was such a great vibe there with BMR was there and a bunch of other people and it's just, when you walk in someplace and you're like, yeah, I'm home. That's what it was like. Um, it's it's just crazy. The cards are very interesting.
I did several whole life expos in New York City.
I've been to those. I probably
And
passed by you
the what?
many moons ago. I probably passed by you in New York City at the Whole Life Expo because I've been to them. And then, like, she probably already knew, like, yeah, 20 years. He's gonna, yeah, 20 years. And
Easily.
this guy named Mark's gonna be there too. That would be fun.
I just
I
stopped
don't.
by, made a quick swing off the interstate.
There you
Yeah.
go. Did you ever have Do you ever have something in public, a warning or a caution for somebody, and you felt compelled to give it to them, or do you still pull back from stuff like that?
Um, if I see something is wrong with somebody, I'll say, it looks like you've got to check in with your doctor coming up. It's a good idea.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I saw something, and it was my first time experiencing it, and I'm with my 2 daughters, and I just had a checkup, by the way, so hopefully I don't die mid-show. That'd be great. And it was a waitress, and she took a ride. She shouldn't have taken the ride, and she was dead. And I'm like, I'm a father of 2 daughters. I would want my kid to know. So I didn't know what to do. I've never had that before. I don't want to be the crazy person. One of my friends, it's actually out of New York. I don't know if if you know Carl Petrie. He's a psychic. He
No,
was really good friends. One of his best friends, and he was best friends with Ingo Swann at one point. But Carl has said numerous times, like, I don't like, I can tell you where certain things are, but I don't, because you then become a suspect. And I don't want to be a suspect. So I totally got that. And this was one of those things where I knew that if I told her just to take an Uber, don't take the ride. So I had to go get, someone told me, like, one of my friends was like, don't worry, I got you. I do this all the time. Of course you do.
oh gosh.
But it worked out. So it
But
was good.
actually, on the website, there's a section that is called cosmic predictions.
Right?
And I do a cosmic prediction for every month. And
Oh,
they do get into
oh,
um
cosmic forecast, right?
yeah,
They can, yeah, and they get emailed to you.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And there's one for every month.
Now, when you, so is that individually? I'm going to put this up so people can see.
That's for humanity. So
Okay.
in
See, that's what I was going to ask.
in the uh in the monthly ones, I think a month or so ago, I wrote that several politicians were going to be leaving the United States in order to get out just in time. So you've got the overview, and on the right-hand side, I think it does have um, the month. If you go to the
Yeah, it
top,
does. It has October,
yeah.
September, August. So
So
I
if you,
still have November and December to
yeah,
get
if
going.
you click on October,
I'm going
October,
to.
the very last thing in the October one,
So I just want
I
to make
find
sure it pops up.
fascinating
Okay, cool. I just want to
because
make sure it comes up.
yeah, it's there.
Okay. I'm going down to the bottom.
The very last part of it, and it goes into everything, but in an area of great deserts, um, very
In
large explosions.
in
I
areas
get
of
in.
great deserts, very large explosions, different and unique form are seen. A start of a new form of expansion that causes wonder on all levels. Really?
There's cool stuff in there.
That
Um,
is fantastic. I'm actually going to the car dealer tomorrow, and I will be doing what I do. I didn't do it the last 2 years. It kinda got, like, a little I do it I didn't have to do it the way I did it the last 2 years, so I do readings, like, I do remote views, 0 to 18 months, and I get these things, and now I journal them down, and I'll draw it, and, I posted it, and 99% of what I said was coming, happened. There's and um, which was interesting, specifically with the Middle East.
well,
And
this dealt too with the fact that some of the deserts were going to become fertile again, and there was it goes into they all go into things that are more graphically important. I don't go into politics, but I
right,
go into energies, and I think a while back, I was talking about the Ukraine, and I said that you can't enforce peace. Peace has to be embraced. So
Right.
the element of enforcing peace is
Well,
of
that's what we
of
have currently right now in
won't
another
last.
end of the world,
Won't last.
the Middle East. Oh, they're already. It's it's already going to be. They got back what they wanted. They're going to go back in and bomb the hell out of the Gaza Strip.
Yeah,
So,
but the
but then again,
predictions.
you know, I don't get political, but if you've been watching what the leaders of that area have been doing to some of the citizens and executing them,
Hamas is not going to disarm.
no, they're not.
There you go.
You'd have a better shot of Mark Eddy becoming the Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model than
Definitely.
Hamas.
Definitely.
Yes.
But if you stop
Thank
and
you
think
for
about
your
it,
encouragement.
Well, I'm
there
just saying it's no disrespect.
this isn't a war. It's a religious war.
Yeah, well,
And
that's spreading around the world right now.
you can't stop people from believing in something and acting on it.
Yeah,
You can't.
we have. There would be really a lovely amount of things we could be talking about, but we're gonna get ourselves. So I'm just gonna stop talking about this right now.
Well,
It was just
Barbara is responsible for lots of those
what peace
kind
deals.
kind. Yeah, you know, she's controversial enough that she causes uh, certain networks to remove shows.
And you know what? I know when I do live stuff and people are on rebroadcast like United Public Radio or whatever, I have to curtail what I want to say.
Yeah.
When I'm in Rumble and we do Rumble a lot, all bets are off and things will come
Oh
out.
yeah.
Which is fine, which is great. It's the censorship's just going to get worse. But this is why, like, let's see Bryan in a bikini. I don't think so.
Well, when
May have your fantasies, heroin, but that ain't gonna happen.
once a month, Solaris and I do a show, and we come very close to the edge.
Yeah, you got to be.
I'm surprised a couple of them haven't been disappeared.
I am too.
I told you. I mean, like I do. I am. I don't know why. Maybe I just speak too much truth. But I was talking to somebody who's no longer alive, and we were. He was telling me about stuff that he saw about them mining the rings of Jupiter, and it popped up on my car, and it was all zeros, and I'm like, we're being monitored. And I said hello to everybody. You know, thanks for doing a great job, men and women.
Yeah,
I don't, I don't think I'm anybody of significance that is a threat to, whatever, but you want to monitor me? Great. No problem. You want to put a couple more zeros to the left of the decimal point in my bank account? That'd be better.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, Barbara, I don't want to keep you too much longer. It's 2 hours. We've going over because of Mark. Only thing. I actually absolutely. Please come back.
But it's not my
I hope you have-
goodbyes.
No, it's not your goodbye yet. It's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. We were on a roll, and I thought we were doing pretty good. But I want to thank everybody from chat for coming in, but especially you, Barbara. Thank you for coming on the show and agreeing. Like, I don't know who Bryan is, but okay, I'll come on the show.
My pleasure.
I hope I lived up to something that, like, okay, he's not bad. I hope so. Then again, I don't want to, no smoke. You can tell me like you were terrible and you should stop doing this.
No.
Which I'll probably keep
No,
doing.
Mark has never steered me right. He's come close. Wrong. He's never steered me wrong. There have been a couple shows that were borderline.
No, Mark has some good guests, but it's like he knows so many people, but
Yeah.
some of them is like, I don't want to do a book report. I want free flowing conversation. I want to promote your book. Please promote the book. We promote the website, we promote the book. And I definitely want to do that for you because I want you to, you deserve to be read and people to subscribe, which a lot of people have subscribed tonight, just so you know.
Cool.
And this is what it's about. It's, you get more from honey than lemons.
Yeah.
But I want to have a free flowing conversation as if I was sitting in your house suffering from cat hair because I'm allergic to it, but I would be hanging out like everything's fine, Barbara. But no, cats always come up to me even when I'm allergic. I'm fine with it. But if I want to do an interview, I would do an interview. I would sit there and like in chapter 6 of your book, you mentioned, whatever. I don't want to do that. I want to do this as if we were hanging out and like, oh my God, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Now Mark has to go back and like put him in the closet to see Barbara holding you like, I'm like in one of those, I forgot what they call them, Bjorns. And
It,
Barbara standing there with you there in a Bjorn.
like a Chucky doll.
Yeah. So that would be fun. But they could reach you at barbaradelong.com. They can get to your website, your also your YouTube page, which is all in the description, folks. Everything about our guests is always in the description. Please go stop by, say hi, go get a reading.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Go get a reading, hang out with Barbara. I don't know. Is Mark in on that or not that?
No, that's why I'm banned after the one
Oh,
show.
he's full of it.
No, you just said that after that really poor performance, I'm banned from like doing reading type
Oh,
shows.
yeah. No, he's not a part of it, but he does come to the show. He just
Okay, he shows up. I've seen Mark show up in the shows.
no. My tech helps me out. He'd never done reading shows or anything, but he's doing quite well at it.
That's great. I mean, that's why I'm like, if I kind of know somebody that's been in chat, I will, love to people that follow and come in. I'd like to get them the readings if they want one, so I can hit them up on Messenger. When you get these people calling from nowhere, you don't know what you're going to get, and you can get something. There's no delay on my show. We have wrenches in the show. We have people that are wrenches, and they do their job. But we're probably going to give out some more wrenches in there as well, so we can, keep people at bay and help out keeping it normal. I'm not here to fight with anybody or argue. So just but I thank you again for coming on the broadcast, Mark. Thank you for the introduction, and you're welcome any point in time. I mean, seriously, whatever you want. Like, I want to come on again and talk about, I don't know, January. Everybody stay away from the coast
Without Mark being there.
without Mark. And I
But
want Mark to be wearing a short skirt. Don't know.
yeah, well, Brian, we might have to have you on Nightlight to do a remote viewing kind of discussion. Like
If
how
you
do you
want,
do it? That kind of stuff. I think
you have
that'd
the
be
master right in front. But I know whatever you want to do, I will do. I'm humbled. If someone asks me like, how do I get you on my show? I'm like, throw me some dates. I'm not someone that's beyond, doing shows. When you get into stalker mode, that's a different story.
Yeah.
We've discussed that privately, but that's when I'm like, nope, no thanks.
well,
And I'm very polite about it.
yeah. We can work on something when you're not busy with a penny.
Sure, just let me know and we'll do something. Mark was interviewed by me and he walked off the interview and called me on the phone. Brent thought that was great, by the way. Everybody did. But I thank you very much, Barbara. Any closing thoughts before I put my song on to thank you and everybody else that's here?
Oh no, but it's been a pleasure. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
I thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And it was just wonderful to. Now I got to go watch the movie again. I got to go track that down and watch that. And now I want to go back to the Stone Chambers, but I'm pretty far away from those right now. So,
You have
but
sinkholes in Florida.
yeah, sinkholes de Mayo. Whatever. The last Cinco de Mayo, my car got pelted. I was literally interviewing a psychic, a tarot card reader, and I had to get a reading to get to talk to her for 30 minutes. And the my kid's mom went out to go pick up my oldest at the high school, and I called her and said, "Hey, I was telling her don't go out. There's a tornado." And she's like, "Oh my God, what do I do?" And I said, "Say hello to Dorothy for me." We stuck, hung up the phone. So that was Cinco de Mayo. But yes, really weird. And the psychic's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, we're just having a tornado. She goes, do you want to call back at another time? I'm like, no, let's just go. What's the worst thing can happen? You're in a tornado. It's the way to go, right? Might as well keep going. But yep. I thank you very much. We're gonna let everybody go. Good night, everybody. Is it Stan Mallow next week, Marky?
I believe it is.
I think it's Stan Mallow next week, and then Michelle Brandenburg on the 29th, cusp of a mischief night. So
Barbara's
blessings
been
to you,
on.
Barbara. Michelle, Barbara has who on?
Barbara's been on Stan's show, I think.
Oh,
or
my
Ken.
first introduction to Stan, the Yacker, right? Paranormal Yacker.
Paranormal Yacker.
Yeah, that is such a Channel 9. I forgot his name. It's a name that would be like a Broadway Danny Rose type of name. Paranormal Yacker. And if no one knows who Broadway Danny Rose is, God, that's when you used to be able to rent movies. We're just going to leave it like that. Good night, everybody. Barbara, if you got to go. I thank you very much. Mark, love you, brother. And I love each and every one of you here. Cinco de Mayo. Yes, you can do Cinco de Mayo as well. And if it was for you, we wouldn't be doing this. So join us next week. God bless. And I don't know. I don't want to do the case and keep reaching for the stars. No? Okay. Bye.
You, it's always been you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I've seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you. True love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I will give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. I love you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I have seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you, true love is you. Love is you, true love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I will give up Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you.